So everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this review, we're talking about an awesome fall and winter fragrance. This is coming from the house of Boadicea the Victorious. This one is called Dasman. So if you want to know more about it, don't go away. So welcome back. As always, before we actually do the review, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you can show your support just by hitting that subscribe button down below. That way, when I do upload a new video, you'll be the first to know about it. So in this review, we're talking about a house that I have come to love over the last couple of years. I do have a love-hatred with the house, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But this review is talking about, as I indicated in the title, this is from the house of Boadicea the Victorious, and this one is Dasman. And I love the way this plaque looks. So Dasman is actually located on the back of this plaque. Sorry for the reflection there. You can see it says Dasman here on the bottom with Boadicea the Victorious and their logo here on the front. I do have the box. I couldn't find it in the huge pile of boxes. I just couldn't locate it, so I apologize. But if you want to know what the box looks like, you can refer down to my green Sapphire review, which I'll put down in the information. The box and the presentation is very similar. So let's talk about the presentation just a little bit before we talk about the scent. So Boadicea the Victorious, I have a little bit of an issue of, as I mentioned before in my other reviews, with the presentation for the price point. For the most part, the box comes in just a simple box that you pull up, and the fragrance sits in the actual bottom. The materials of the bottle itself are rather cheap. So this plaque is kind of a cheap, kind of plasticky, sort of metal plaque. I do love the intricate design though. The plaque itself on each bottle is usually really cool and very intricately detailed. It has, again, the name of the fragrance on the back where it says Dasman here, and that's specific to each of the different bottles in the collection or each of the fragrances. The cap here is just a cheap, cheap, nothing special kind of a cap here. The actual top of the cap is really nicely detailed, but again, very cheap plastic cap. The quality control of Boadicea the Victorious is horrible. They, like many other houses, they have really bad QC and QA, where they just need to do a better job of really nailing down the quality control, especially for the price point. I've had bottles that had caps completely loose, or the tops of the spray, the atomizer, was completely loose and just spinning around where juice was just spilling out all over the place. That being said, I think the quality materials, again, I will be saying this in every review I do with both, BVT, Boadicea Victorious. The quality of the materials should be better for the price point. This retails for about $560-ish dollars US. It's about 400 pounds. So with tax and shipping, it's about $560, which is very expensive. You can find this for much cheaper in the groups, or on the Facebook groups, or through discounters if you can get it. But the actual fragrance itself, so this is one of my absolute favorites from the house of Boadicea the Victorious in terms of just overall scent profile and performance. My favorites probably would be Valiant. I do love Hanuman. I also really enjoy Namir and Green Sapphire, as well as Blue Sapphire, but this one is exceptionally well done. They are known for their different rose ouds. They have a huge selection of rose ouds in the fragrance repertoire of Boadicea the Victorious. That's primarily what they do best. They have about 150 to 200 fragrances, if not more. So trying to navigate your way through the house and what's great, what's okay, and what's not good is difficult. So if you don't know, if you're getting into this house, I recommend doing your research, joining the Facebook groups, like the Facebook group for We Are Victorious, and really understanding and getting a sense from the people who've been there, what is the outstanding fragrances, what are the sellers that have been, or what are the outstanding sellers from the house that have been really exceptional, and what fits your fragrance profile. So let's talk about the actual fragrance itself. This is a rose oud primarily. This was launched in 2018. This is a floral fragrance, but it really is a rose oud dominant fragrance. So let's talk about what we get here. Now, nothing amazing with the spray, but still a good sprayer, a good solid sprayer. I have to mention though, this is really quickly, I love the way this gold and black looks, the contrast, the way it sits in my collection. It really just is an outstanding bottle. It's a beautiful design, so I don't want to knock the fragrance entirely. It is a really beautiful presentation. I can get this right off the bat. This is a very strong, really strong opening. It is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I freaking love this one. Now, when I first sprayed this one, when I first tried it a couple of years ago, a little bit like a year and a half ago, I hated it. I absolutely hated it, but my nose wasn't really refined like it is now, and I didn't love ouds. I definitely didn't like rose ouds as much as I do now, and I'm coming to find that I love rose more and more. My taste is becoming more geared towards finding rose fragrances more attractive. My girlfriend hates this fragrance, hates it, but oh, it's exceptional. So right off the bat, you get this very bright, fizzy opening with this leathery lavender, leathery saffron, almost this little bit of this earthy, leathery saffron, this herbaceous lavender, and this really bright neroli, this kind of orange blossom, honeyed neroli, with a juicy bergamot and a little bit of this rose from the geranium. Now, right off the bat from the spray, you get this really lovely Turkish rose and just a beautiful rose opening. It's very sweet, it's clean, it's soft, it's a bit powdery from the rose. It's definitely amorous. It's a beautiful rose right in the opening, which lasts through the entirety of this fragrance. But right away, you also get this oud. Now the oud is right on the, even though it's listed in the base, it's definitely right off the opening. Now there's a bit of this the cypriol here, which is a little bit of an arboriferous or kind of forested feel here. You get a touch of this ambery quality, which helps balance out some of that little that bit of that dominant oud. But that oud here is not it's not a overly skanky oud. It's a very well balanced oud. It is a little bit skanky, but it's almost soft in the way it's done here and done very well with a rose. It's beautiful. And the one thing I really like about this is how they use resins here with the olibanum. That resinous balsamic quality helps balance out that oud and that cypriol, making this a kind of a resinous but somewhat ambery base, but along with that rose and oud, it's really well done. You also have a little bit of this musk, so a little bit of this powderiness from the musk here. Definitely a little bit green, so I think vetiver and patchouli come into play, where they have a little bit of that earthiness and a little bit of that sweet dampiness to come into play. So it must be a damp kind of sweet patchouli, not so much a green or clean patchouli, but it's a little bit on that dampy side, which adds to that quality and that oriental feel from the rose oud combination. It's really, really beautiful. The one thing I love about this is that it's very elegant. It is very easy to wear rose oud fragrance. It's not overly powerful. It definitely is. It's a beast. This one lasts 24 hours plus on my skin. But I don't tend to overspray. I do about 3 to 4 sprays, and it lasts on me all day. It projects fairly well, but the one thing I get is really that sharp, fizzy, bright opening from the different neroli and the lavender and the saffron, but that rose oud amber combination with that cypriol and a little bit of that vetiver and patchouli really makes this a beautiful, dark, bold, very domineering kind of fragrance where you will make a statement, but it's not going to be overly powerful. I think it's perfectly blended where the notes are balanced enough. They're each making their own statement, but they're kind of coming together as a group, if that makes sense. It's about a mild thickness, about a mild density, not overly dense and not too thin. This thing really does well in the cold weather. I think this comes out extremely well in the cold. The one thing I love about this is that I do wear it once in a while. I haven't worn it too many times in formal occasions, but I have worn it around town. I wear this as a personal scent. I love the way this smells off of my skin. But I think, honestly, if you wear this to a formal occasion, and I think this is really more of a formal occasion, it's not a casual setting, you will definitely make a statement. You will make yourself known. This is absolutely perfectly unisex. This is a cold weather fragrance, but you can wear this in warm weather. This is meant to be worn in warm weather as well, like they do in the Middle East as well. This rose and oud is often worn in high heat. And this is an outstanding one of my favorites from the house, and one that I think if you don't have, definitely check out and get your nose on it. So that was my review of Dasman from Boadicea the Victorious. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Have you tried it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's okay? And I would love to know what your favorite is from the house. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for staying tuned. I really appreciate it. As always, stay safe and take care of each other. Bye, everyone.